But we need the embrace first, the connection, the music, and then the steps. The walking is a big thing, is to walk the tango. Pause and use the music. Because what we do when we're doing steps, we're only just walking. Doesn't matter whether we're turning, whatever we're doing, it's walking. We transfer our weight onto our axis and we find her axis. So we only find that through walking the tango, I think, for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And, well, you addressed walking there. When people begin, that's quite often the first big frustration. I know how to walk.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
I still have to walk. I still have to work at it. I'm still working at it. I'm working with my walk, my clarity of lead, and the music. I'm working with that music still all the time, working with the music. Yeah.
If you like say, well, I'm working on my walk. What does that entitle? Do you condition for it?
I'm trying to get a smooth movement. I'm not sort of up and down, or I'm not stompy, and I like to be free, and I like to float. Something that interested me is watching some good dance, how they floated on the dance floor, and the music coming out of their body. Those things interested me when I went to Buenos Aires, and I couldn't get on the floor. I was intimidated, and I never had the tools, and I used to get squeezed into the middle of the dance floor because they're just experts at moving anyone that's not experienced enough into the centre of the dance floor, and I ended up in the centre. So I was determined. To dance in a crowd, because that never stopped any good dancer from dancing when it was crowded. The good dancers just moved, not bumping into anyone, took their space and moved. And that's what I was interested in. I was interested in doing that, and the movement. I like dancing on a crowded dance floor. It gives me energy. It feels great.
I think that's an important part as well. If you compare to other dances, maybe that you dance with the ronda. It takes two to tango, but it takes a group to make a milonga. It's not nice to have a huge hall with two people in it.
No, you've got to have that atmosphere. You've got to have good music, and the atmosphere, and then it makes you. When you're dancing, it actually makes you do something that you mightn't do in the music when you're dancing. And that's good too, because you're not thinking, you see? You're listening with your partner and you're in a bubble. So when you're dancing in this bubble, you're not looking around at anyone else. You're only dancing in this bubble together. I don't care who's watching, and I'm not doing some flashy thing. I'm not worried about it. I'm dancing in this bubble, and I don't want to break it, for the tender. Yeah. With the walking, it doesn't mean when we're walking, it doesn't mean we're only just walking in front of each other. We're using the different tracks, each side of each other. And when I've got her, she comes down round the side of me on both tracks. So it's not just walking in front, because people say, oh, we're going to walk again. No. We're walking and using the tracks on each side of us, and I'm on each side of her, and the different systems, cross system, parallel system. So we have to get used to that. They're a big thing. And also I found as I've got along, structure in tango. There is a structure in tango if you can decipher it, okay? And it's there. We only have 3 steps. Both of us. We have a forward, a side, and a back step. But those things alter when we use the 3 tracks, okay? So if you can understand a bit of structure, you can pick things up. If you go to a class, you can understand it better, okay? You're not thinking, how how do I do that step? You understand the structure. It's either a forward step for you, a back step for you, a side step for her, depending on the direction I take around her. The structure changes from one side to the other. As being an engineer, I've sort of studied the structure, and it's really helped me. Not thinking about it now, but I know where she is, and I know where I am when I'm dancing. And it did help me, the structure.
I guess it's easier for you to think about structure that way, where a lot of the structure is quite often not clear for people because they come from other dances where they've learned to dance sequences.
Yes.
So they try to remember whole sequence.
Yeah.
So instead of learning an alphabet, they more try to remember a full paragraph as a sequence.
Yes.
Which makes it a lot harder, I think.
Absolutely.
And I think I heard someone said once, they just go out to buy a can of steps. But in ways that's true. They end up taking all these classes and learn new sequences every time rather than focusing on structure.
Yes. Yeah. It's a lot harder to and hey, I've been down that track, been down all those tracks, steps, sequences. And as I've got along, and it's only it's a progression thing too, as I've got along, I've got these things built into my muscle memory now, so I don't think about it, But the structure did help me. And, and the walking and clarity of lead too, for me. Yeah. Being able to be able to dance with anyone, even a beginner. And even if she's only a beginner, you can get her to do something without force or anything. Just lead, and that's very satisfying, Yeah.
Would you put that down to skill, or is it? So that's an important thing about the embrace, I think, as well, that it's a space of trust. That someone gets comfortable and trust, like you say, a beginner, quite often, if it's a beginner, they'll be maybe intimidated because they know you're an experienced dancer. So they get very nervous so you have to create that space of comfort and trust.
Yeah. I mean, being close to someone's not easy, in our culture, it's like, I can't take that space. But in Buenos Aires, they embrace you like they love you. It's like I love you, It's a love you and embrace. So, especially in the close embrace, So you feel, as soon as that you feel that, you're away, you that's what I want to do, I want to dance like that, close, connected. So for a beginner, it is intimidating. Not all beginners. Some beginners will be comfortable close, So I have to allow that space, Generally, she dictates the space when when the follower dances with me or whoever. They determine the space.
There's always the zone where you have to figure out what the embrace is. The embrace is not. It's not a structured frame like you would have in ballroom or something. It's how close do you want to be, and it can be based on personal comfort, but also how skillful you are, because being so close and not stepping on each other's toe is a skill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's beautiful to have a close embrace.
Yes.
But especially in the beginning, it's easier for someone to have a certain level of distance so they can focus on their own movement.
Yeah. So the embrace for me, because I like close embrace, it doesn't mean that we have full contact all the time. We hinge, but we're still contacted.
Yeah.
See, I don't break the embrace for me. This is how I wanted to dance. I wanted to dance with contact. So we can hinge. So that allows us to have an embrace that's flexible, but without breaking it. open. We've still got some contact. It's like a door hinge, okay? So it can move in and out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because quite often, people kind of separate, and it's still when teachers came to the Tango Festival, for example. In the beginning, when I just started myself, some teachers were like, "Oh, people asking us, milonguero or salon. It's like, to us, it's all tango. It's like it doesn't matter what you want to call it, but it's and for them, milonguero didn't even exist. They said, well, milongueros are people that go to milongas in Buenos Aires, but we don't separate the two. Where here it seems that there's this kind of separation, or people at least address it separately. Like yourself, you say, well, I'm close, so there is a difference there.
I think there's always been a difference, like there's been different in Buenos Aires, in different barrios, there's been different styles, So, salon or in the city it was close embrace, milonguero style. I mean, they said milonguero style. There's people teach milonguero style, but I think, it's all milonguera, even Nuevo Tango. You know what I mean? It's all the same.
Yeah.
But it's, if you have to dance in a crowd, you have to be close, and that's how I wanted to dance, okay? I tried a little bit of Nuevo and other stuff, and it's been great, it was good. And, the young ones, they're still inventing the tango, and that's fantastic, what they're doing, overseas and, yeah.
Isn't that the beauty of tango as well, that it's not a static step dance, but it's improvised.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Once you got those tools, as you said, you can make it up as you go.
Yes, yeah, and that's what's great about it, It's just the improvisation. There's no set rules, And they say, oh, well, you're doing this wrong. Hey, you're doing nothing wrong. You're even if you're inventing it, I mean, you dance to the beat or the melody or the singer, but you can also be another instrument in the dance, and you can see people dancing off the beat. They mightn't be able to hear the beat. And you think, oh, he's not on the beat. He could be another instrument. That's what I say. He could be another instrument in the orchestra. So, hey, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not out of time. He looks out of time, but he is an instrument, without him knowing probably.
But that's the beauty, isn't it? That there are no right and wrongs.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
People find themselves in the trap, especially if they come from other dances sometimes, that they want to get specifics, I'm supposed to dance this, or I need to embrace like this, or I need to step that way. And it's, in the end, it comes down to communication.
Yeah, I think too, you have to find your own style.
Yeah.
See, you can't be a copy of much that you think, oh, I'd love to dance like him or her. You don't want to be a copy. You want to dance your own style, and that's it. I mean, I think, people have had their styles pushed onto them. And you can see when you're watching YouTube or whatever, a lot of the styles look the same.
Yeah.
They do. They look really, they all look the same. I like individual style. I'm not a copy of anyone. I've had some good teachers who I've taken little snippets from and added those things to my dance and created my own dance out of that. And I think that's good. Don't be a copy.